You ever get the feeling you're not alone, deep in the woods, miles from anyone? I did. That day, the silence was too thick. I was hiking alone when I saw him, just standing among the trees, still as a statue. No gear, no expression, just a face watching me like I wasn't supposed to be there. I stared back, frozen. He didn't blink. I took one step and he vanished, gone like a ghost. There were no footsteps, no rustling leaves. I camped that night anyway, gripping my knife until sunrise. At 3:07 a.m., the fire flickered. In the shadows, he was there again, watching, waiting. That was the last time I camped alone. But sometimes, late at night, I still see him. In reflections, in passing headlights. He never moves, never speaks. Just watches, like he's still deciding something. I don't know what he is. I only know he's still out there. And maybe, closer now. A week later, I moved into my new apartment. 6th floor, top unit. First night, I heard knocking, soft and slow. I froze. Who the hell knocks on a 6th floor window? I pulled the curtain back. Nothing there. But on the glass, a handprint. From the outside. Fresh. Warm. Pressed firm. I tried to convince myself it was just moisture. That night, I dreamed of someone staring through the window. When I woke up, the curtains were open. I never leave them open. A single line of fog ran down the glass, perfectly vertical. No rain. Just silence. Someone had watched me sleep. Then there was the night I lost time. I was driving home, late shift, empty road. It was 2:19 a.m. I blinked. It was 4:34. I hadn't turned, stopped, or slowed down. The gas gauge hadn't moved, but something sticky was on the wheel. I sniffed it. Antiseptic. Like a clinic. Like a lab. I pulled over, shaking. My GPS froze, just a blue dot drifting nowhere. I checked my phone camera. 10 photos had been taken. Black screens, but in one, I saw a shape behind me. Not quite human. I didn't remember stopping. I didn't remember blinking. Just 2 hours, deleted. That's when I saw her. I was driving late, no other cars. Just woods and fog. And then, this girl, standing on the shoulder. White dress, flashlight pointing toward the forest. Not waving, not crying, just still. I slowed down. Her eyes never left mine. That light never shook. I rolled the window down, asked if she was okay. No answer, just a slow point into the trees. I followed. 100 feet in, I heard breathing. A man, bloody and unconscious, lay in the dirt. I called 911, turned to call to her. She was gone, like she never existed. But she did. Later that week, weird noises started in my house, like scratching under the floorboards. Then whispers. I live alone. No pets. One night, I snapped and ripped up a board in the hallway. What I saw made my stomach flip. Mattress, food wrappers, and a tiny vent watching me. Inside the vent, photos. Photos of me sleeping. Of my bedroom, taken from the inside. One had a date written on it, tomorrow's. I called the cops. They searched but found nothing. The space was empty, but the smell of sweat and old food told me someone had just left. They never found who it was. I installed cameras, moved my bed, kept the lights on for months. But every now and then, I'll hear that same soft scratch under the floor, like someone crawling, waiting. And in the morning, dust on the vents. Disturbed, just enough to notice. I thought I was going crazy, but then I heard it, my dog growling at the vent. He never did that before. He stood there, hackles raised, staring into the dark. Then came the whisper. Not from him, not from me, from under the floor. Just one word, move. I haven't slept since. Back to the man in the woods, months passed. I tried to forget. One evening, walking downtown, I saw him again. Same face, same dead eyes, but now in a crowd, watching me through a store window. I ran inside. He was gone, like before, but this time, he smiled before vanishing. I asked around. No one else had seen him. Cameras didn't catch him. I moved cities, changed jobs, deleted socials, and yet I got a postcard. No return address, just a photo. Me, sleeping in my new place, taken through the window, and scribbled on the back, still watching. The knocking came again. Same time, 3:17 a.m. I waited this time, camera ready. When I peeked, I saw a shape outside, floating. A man? A shadow? I blinked. It was gone, but the camera caught it. A figure midair, no wings, no support, just suspended and staring at the lens. I sent it to a paranormal forum. Half called it fake. The other half said window watchers were real. Spirits. Entities. Some said they choose one person. Follow them forever. Feed off fear. I laughed it off until I saw it again. Not outside this time, but in my mirror. Time glitch. Alien. I still can't explain what happened that night on the road. I went to a hypnotist. During the session, I screamed. When I woke up, I had scratched something on the table with a pen. Don't look up. My neck ached for days, like I'd been restrained. The hypnotist quit the next day, said he'd never seen anything like it. I asked for the session recording. The flash drive he gave me was blank, except one audio file, 10 seconds of static. Then my voice, there inside. Not me screaming. Calm. Cold. Not like me at all. Let's go back to the girl with the flashlight. Weeks passed. I couldn't stop thinking about her. I drove back to that same road. Nothing. But then I checked the tree line. Fresh footprints. Barefoot. Small. I followed them until they just ended, in the middle of the clearing. Later, I read about a missing person case from 1989. A girl in white vanished near that road. They never found her. Just a flashlight. I looked up the photo from the article. Same face. Same eyes. I still have that flashlight. And some nights, it turns on by itself. The floorboard noises? They stopped for a while. Until last week. I came home and found muddy prints on my floor. From under the hallway. Same size as mine. Barefoot. I called the police. They searched again. This time, they found a fresh sandwich. Still warm. So now I live with the fear that someone comes in while I'm gone. Sleeps. Eats. Watches. Leaves. Like it's their house, not mine. And worse, I checked the camera footage. That day, for hours of black screen. Then it cuts back in. My bedroom door slowly closing. And yet I stay. Maybe because I want answers. Maybe because I want proof. But every night, I lie awake, listening, hoping I don't hear the floor creak. But part of me knows, one day I will. And I won't be alone when I do. I'll hear breathing, right next to mine. I keep the flashlight in a drawer now, wrapped in towels. But sometimes I hear it click on, even unplugged, even without batteries. One night it lit up the whole hallway. A beam straight to the front door. I opened it. Nothing was there. Just that same set of barefoot prints. The prints led to the edge of the woods behind my house. Then stopped. The ground there is soft, muddy. Nothing should be able to walk across it without leaving a trail. But they did. Like someone floated, hovered, or never touched the ground at all. Still, I followed. Deep in the trees, I found something buried. Not a body. A photo. Faded and damp. It was my house, my bedroom. In the corner, circled in red ink, was a shape. A figure. Standing beside my bed. I don't remember ever seeing it before. But it felt familiar. Too familiar. I burned the photo. Or tried to. The edges blackened, curled. But the image never faded. The circle remained. That night, my dreams changed. I didn't dream of watchers. I dreamed of being underground. Tied down. Voices above me. One kept whispering, "He's still inside." Now I'm starting to question what's real. The face I saw in the woods. The man who vanished. He's in other memories too. At the grocery store. On the bus. In crowds. Always there for a second. Like a bad photo overlaying my vision. I'm not sure if I'm being followed or haunted. People say trauma makes you imagine things. But what if it doesn't? What if trauma opens the door to seeing what's already there? What others can't? What if I wasn't alone in those woods? What if I've never been alone? What if something came back with me? There's one thing that keeps me from moving away. One reason I stay. I checked old records of the land. In 1911, someone else lived here. A man. He wrote in his journal, "The girl with the light comes nightly. She points. I follow. I always return changed." I think I did too. I found that journal in the attic, covered in dust, but the last page was clean, blank, except for one word scratched in with pressure, not ink. Stay. That's all. I touched the word and felt a chill run through me, like someone had just exhaled cold air down the back of my neck. The man at the window? He's not just watching anymore. Last night, I saw him behind my reflection. Not outside. Not behind me. Inside the mirror. I turned. Nothing. But my reflection, it didn't move with me. It just stared. With his face. Not mine. Smiling. Still. I smashed the mirror. But every shard still held the same image. His face. Staring. Every angle. Every fragment. I tossed them all. But one piece appeared on my pillow the next night. Clean, untouched, centered perfectly. I never found the frame, just the glass. And him. I once drove past that same spot where I lost time, just to see if I could trigger it again. I drove at 2:19 a.m., watched the clock the whole way. When I passed mile marker 64, it glitched. The numbers scrambled. The radio turned on. Static. Then a voice. "You're back." I slammed the brakes. The air was thick, like underwater. The headlights flickered. Something ran across the road. Tall, pale, fast. Not human. Not animal. I sat frozen, engine dead. The clock blinked 4:34. Again. When I finally got the car started, the gas tank was full. That road is different now. I avoid it. But sometimes, I see others pulled over there. Cars stopped, lights off. People staring into the trees. I want to warn them. But part of me knows they won't listen. Because part of me didn't. And now, part of me isn't mine anymore. They say fear keeps you safe. But I think it's the opposite. I think fear calls them, attracts them, marks you. And once you've been marked, it doesn't matter where you go. The knock will come. The light will point. The mirror will reflect something that isn't you. I started recording myself at night. Just to know. Just to see if anything moved. The first few nights were quiet. Then on the fifth night, at 3:07 a.m., the video cut to black. When it came back, I was sitting upright in bed, eyes open, smiling, not blinking, for 20 minutes. I don't remember it, but I checked my hands the next morning. Dirt under my fingernails, a cut on my heel. My front door was still locked, but my car keys were missing. I found them later in the woods, hanging from a branch. I don't even remember leaving my room. The flashlight turned on again last night, but this time it pointed at my closet. I opened it. Nothing there. Then I turned around, and the flashlight was in my hand. I don't remember picking it up, but my other hand was holding something cold and metal, a key. The key didn't fit anything in my house. I tried every lock, every drawer, even the mailbox. No match. Then I remembered the old hatch in the basement, sealed shut. I hadn't touched it in years. I went down. The key slid in perfectly. The lock clicked. Then silence. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know if I want to. Something tells me I already have. Maybe in my sleep. Maybe while I was gone. Sometimes I dream about stairs. Wet stone stairs spiraling downward forever. And I wake up breathless, covered in dust and dirt. The man in the woods. I think he's what's at the bottom. Or maybe what used to be. I see his eyes in reflections now. Not in mirrors. In puddles. In windows. In other people's eyes. I asked a stranger once, "Do you see him too?" She just cried. And whispered, "Not again." They say some places remember. Some homes. Some roads. But what if it's not the place? What if it's the person? What if I'm the one who remembers, and that memory lets them in? Maybe forgetting is the only way to survive. But I can't forget. Not anymore. Not after this. I visited a sleep clinic. Wired up, monitored. They said I didn't dream. But during the third night, alarms went off. My heart rate dropped dangerously. I wasn't breathing. For 3 minutes, my body lay still, eyes open. Then I whispered, "He's almost here," and smiled. The footage went missing. Clinic blamed corruption. But the nurse quit that week. Said she saw something impossible on the monitor. Not a shadow, not a glitch. A second figure, lying beside me. Same face, same clothes. But the eyes weren't human. She fainted. I sleep less now. And when I do, I bolt upright at exactly 3:07 a.m. No alarm. No reason. Just instinct. Sometimes the flashlight is on. Sometimes the closet is open. Once, my window was unlocked from the outside. And I live on the 12th floor. With no balcony. I called a priest. He walked in, froze, and said he couldn't stay. Claimed the house had layers. Said something was watching from behind the walls. He gave me a vial of water. It boiled when I left it near the closet. He never came back. His number changed. I tried moving. New place. New locks. No woods. Just city noise and neighbors. But the first night, same knock. Same time. I looked out. A man in the alley. Pale. Watching. Not moving. I turned away for a second. Gone. But the window had fogged. A message drawn in it. The message said, "Did you forget?" I hadn't. Not really. I just tried. Tried to drown it in noise, in lights, in new walls. But you can't outrun memory. Not when it's not yours. Not when it's been placed in you. Etched in. carved with eyes that never blink. I met a woman in a forum. Same stories. Same time. Same woods. She showed me her shoulder. A scar shaped like the flashlight beam. She said it burned some nights. Glows faintly. We planned to meet. The day before, she disappeared. Her account deleted. No trace. I called every hospital. Nothing. Checked obituaries. Nothing. Her last message to me was one word. Run. I don't know if it was a warning or a trap, but that night, I dreamed of her, standing in the woods, her eyes glowing like the flashlight, and she pointed at me. I woke up with soil under my nails. My feet were dirty. The key was back on my nightstand, and something scratched into the floor beside my bed. Open it. I checked the hatch in the basement. This time, the padlock was gone. Just a rusty chain, slightly ajar. I pushed the door open. Cold air rushed out, stale and wet. I saw stairs, just like in the dream. Spiral, stone, endless. I took one step, then two. Then everything went black. I woke up hours later, lying on my living room floor. Clothes damp, the flashlight in my hand. The girl with the light is everywhere now. I see her in headlights, in the glow of street lamps. She never speaks, only points, but not at danger, at choices. Every time I follow her, I end up someplace I can't explain, like the road that loops forever, or a mirror with no reflection. I once stayed in a hotel, new city, far from home. Thought I was safe, but the moment I entered the room, the radio clicked on. Static, then a voice. Room 307. I was in 214. I called the desk. They said room 307 didn't exist, but I checked. There was a door, unmarked. Behind the door, nothing. A hallway that bent into black. I stepped in. The air changed, thicker, like breathing fog. I heard whispers. One sounded like mine, saying things I'd never said. I ran. When I looked back, the hallway was gone. Just a blank wall. No handle. Now, I don't check in under my real name. I don't tell people where I'm going. And yet, they always find me. The knocks, the lights, the reflections. They're not just reminders. They're invitations. To go deeper. To follow. And maybe, to never come back. There's a pattern to it. The time. The faces. The places. Always 3:07 a.m. Always reflections that don't match. Always doors where there shouldn't be doors. I started mapping them. It formed a circle. Right in the center, my childhood home. The first time I saw her. I asked my mother about that night. She froze. Said I was sleepwalking. That I kept pointing at the closet and saying he's not done. She never let me sleep alone again. But I remember now. A man crouched in the dark, watching me. He smiled, then vanished. The closet's still there. I went back. Broke in. My old room looks smaller now. But the hatch is in the same place, under the rug. Locked. But I had the key. I didn't open it. Not yet. But I stood there for hours, listening. Something was breathing down there. Slowly. I met others. Online. Quiet forums. Private chats. All with the same symbols. The same time gaps. The same girl with the light. Some follow. Some vanish. Some go silent. One uploaded a sound clip before disappearing. It was breathing. Then whispering, he's inside now. Now I wonder, am I the one being haunted? Or am I the door? The way through? The mirror, not the reflection. I stopped filming myself. I stopped locking doors. Because what's the point? If it wants in, it's already there. Maybe it always was. Maybe I let it in. I still hear the knocking. I still wake at 3:07. But now I don't get up. I don't look. I just wait. And one night, I know the knock won't come from the window. It'll come from inside. From the basement. From behind the closet. From the mirror. And I'll finally answer it. And when I do, maybe I'll see what's on the other side. Maybe I'll understand why the girl keeps pointing. Why the man keeps watching. Why the lights go out just before I fall asleep. Or maybe I won't see anything at all. Just darkness. And that smile. Waiting. Well, those are all the stories for tonight, folks. Which one creeped you out the most? Let me know down in the comments. And if you've got your own true horror story, something strange, chilling, or just plain unexplainable, drop it below. The scariest ones might make it into a future video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Until then, keep the lights on. And whatever you do, don't open the door at 3:07 a.m.